Todd, I'd love to get your thoughts on the ways maybe you've interpreted Byron Katie's work that sort of unlocked a deeper understanding for you personally. Um, when I was going through the work, I was really suffering with uh, you know, the turnarounds just being too self-inflicting, and I was just feeling so much shame and guilt. But then I really turned it around. I don't know if you've seen that movie Arrival, but I thought of Byron Katie standing next to me, and we're looking at the ink blots on, like, the aliens are sending over, and we're pointing at those going, that's crazy, or that's wild, we shouldn't think of it that way, rather than I am crazy or I am controlling or whatever. And so I just didn't know if you had any other techniques you could share with maybe ways you've interpreted Byron Katie's teachings or writings that have really unlocked something different for you that might not be explicitly stated in the way she does the work or the way her writing is delivered.
Yeah, it's a great question. I think the number one thing that I've kind of come to in doing the work over the years that has helped me and has helped many of my clients is to think of the original statement and a turnaround as balancing each other. And so if I have an original statement and no turnaround, and I'm just thinking, he's mean, he's mean, he's mean, he's mean, and I just hate him because he's mean. Like I've got a lot of weight on this side of the fulcrum, and I'm weighted down, and it's an imbalance because my attention is just so focused there. And so that imbalance causes this emotion to come up, and then we say, "Hey, alarm clock, let's do the work." And so you start questioning, he's mean, he's mean, he's mean, and you start seeing the effect of the thought, and you realize that it would be better hypothetically without the thought. So there's a willingness there to start finding a turnaround. So then you start finding the turnaround. I'm mean, and you're like, and what sometimes happens is you take all the weight off of this one, you put all the weight over here, and you go, boom! Oh my God, I'm mean, I'm mean, I'm terrible, I can't believe it. And you can end up beating yourself up and feeling really bad about yourself because you've taken that turnaround out of context in a way, and you can't help it. Like the mind, when it's looking through a little narrow window, it just sees one, which is he's mean, and then it goes over here, and now it says I'm mean, and it forgets. It's already forgotten about the other one. But what meditation is, it's an expanding of the mind. So as you sit with this, and your window can kind of open a bit, and you'll be able to see both there. Oh, he's mean, I'm mean. Oh, okay. Those two kind of match each other. And I can see how I'm mean in some of the same ways he's mean. And we're both kind of mean. And like, oh yeah, right. It's like human beings are mean. And like it can happen sometimes. And like you start getting this understanding and it's something softens. So something softens about him. And I'm not as irate about his meanness now. I'm not, he may actually be mean, but I am too. So, okay, they balance each other. And for me, that really helps in not beating myself up. And then, of course, I'll go to another turnaround, which would be he's not mean. And and here's another place where people will do the same thing. Start out with he's mean, everything's over here, and then switch it over to he's not mean. And now they just forget about he's mean and flip to some new, maybe not even true idea that he's not mean. And now it starts to feel like it's not true. Like, hey, I've got this turnaround that doesn't even match my experience. And so again, the balance, instead of like going like this or like this, it's how can these both be true? And maybe sometimes one is actually truer and the other one just gets destroyed. Or maybe the original stays true and then maybe the turnaround doesn't really work. But sometimes they're both true. And so what I'm doing when I'm doing the work is I'm exploring, I'm seeing where is the truth lie? I don't know where I'm going to find it. Might be over here, might be over here, might be in the balance. And if I can keep that possibility that there may be a balance and he may be mean and he may be not mean at the same time, somehow that starts to neutralize it. Like, oh, wait, I'm not so sure he's mean. how do you know, like, how do you get people to go to war? You tell them the enemy is mean and there's a no doubt about it. They kill babies, right? That's the favorite line. So then suddenly you're going to kill them because that's what they deserve. But if there was any doubt about, well, maybe are they really that mean? You would, without knowing for sure that they were nice or that they weren't mean, even the doubt that they're maybe not sure that they're so mean will make you wait. Okay, well, I'll go shoot them later when I'm sure that they're really mean. So that's what happens in the work. I start out with he's mean and I turn it around to he's not mean. I don't know if, I can see some meanness there, but I'm not so sure exactly what's going on for sure. Not sure what his intentions are. It might be it's coming out of just some stress of his, or maybe he's um, reacting in some way, or maybe who knows what's going on. Or I start to see some really kind qualities that coexist with his meanness, and I start to play with that. And so now I'm not going to just drop the bomb on him because I see some good there too. So that principle of balance, I think, is what I come back to over and over again in practical use when I'm doing the work and when I'm working with clients. And I think it helps to soften the work and to allow me to discover my truth as opposed to taking some kind of dictation from the work. It's not what the work was designed for, but sometimes people just think, oh, my turnaround told me, well, that's not the way it works. The turnaround gives you some new ideas, but I have to decide whether something resonates with me or really makes sense to me. And it's kind of like brainstorming. You brainstorm tons of ideas, but you only take a few of them out, the ones that are useful. So when I'm doing the work, I'm looking for examples, I'm looking for turnarounds, I'm looking for everything. And that's the brainstorming. But some will resonate and some won't resonate. And if I just uh, think that the work's telling me what to do, then I'm going to end up sometimes feeling worse or less connected to myself. But that's just a misunderstanding of what the work is. Work is a tool for me to expand my vision. And so when I see that, and then when I can see the turnarounds as a way of balancing, I find that that's very helpful. So there may be other things, but that's really the first and foremost that comes to mind.
Thank you. That's a great insight. It's like zooming out on a graph. You know, when people really want you to think something about a graph, they'll show you a small fraction of it. And if you were to zoom out to all time, you're like, oh wait, it's hardly a blip. And so I appreciate that. It's really going to help me find that maybe there's equilibrium that I'm missing. That if I just expand my consciousness. So thank you so much for that. That's a huge help.
That's it. Yeah, that's exactly it. Beautiful.